I'm Tony Robles, and this is 15 Levels of Pool. All the shots and techniques and fundamentals that we're learning today are applicable to most games in pool, but we're going to be focusing on the game of 8-ball today. Level 1, basic fundamentals. In order to master the game, you must have a solid foundation, and that's the bridge, the stance, and the stroke. The V bridge or open hand bridge is what is used for about 60 to 70% of the shots on the pool table. You form a fist, take your thumb, attach it to the knuckle, spread the fingers so that you create like a letter V. And that's gonna help support the cue stick going back and forth nice and smoothly. Whereas a closed hand bridge, your fingers are nice and loose. You don't wanna keep them too tight. Then the cue stick is going to rub on your fingers when you're trying to stroke the cue stick back and forth. The stance is making sure that you line up your body with each and every shot. A stroke is like a throwing motion in the game of pool, but the most important aspect of it is to make sure that you always come back nice and slowly, pause for a second or two before you decide to accelerate as you're going forward. Best way to confirm that your fundamentals are intact is to practice a drill called the center ball drill. So you're basically striking the cue ball dead center and making sure that it goes in a direct line to the cushion and then in a straight line back to the tip. Once you have your fundamentals down, it's time to take it to the next level. Level 2, aiming the cue ball using the ghost ball method. The way the ghost ball method works is you want to line 2 balls frozen together in a direct line to the center of the pocket. Then you get down on your shot and you line up the center of the cue ball to the center of the ball that represents the ghost ball. The cue ball will strike the object ball where the ghost ball was lined up. Once you've mastered the ghost ball method, you'll gain a lot more confidence and start pocketing balls more consistently. Level 3, controlling the cue ball. There are 3 ways to control the cue ball: the follow shot, the draw shot, and the stop shot. The follow shot is when the cue ball strikes the object ball and follows it after contact. After striking the cue ball above the equator, it gives it what we call instant forward momentum, which allows the cue ball to continue to roll forward after contact. A draw shot is when the cue ball comes back towards you after striking the object ball. In order to achieve the draw shot, you must strike the cue ball way below the equator in order to give it backspin so that after contact, the cue ball will draw right towards you. A stop shot is when you strike the cue ball, send it to the object ball, and have the cue ball come to a complete stop. In other words, it has no forward momentum or no backspin. You're going to strike the cue ball anywhere from the equator to as low as you can go. And what happens is, in order to achieve what we call the slide effect, you must strike it so that the cue ball starts with backspin. Once that cue ball runs out of backspin, it starts to slide for a very short period of time before it starts to pick up forward momentum. It's at the point that the cue ball is sliding that you must contact the ball in order to achieve a stop shot. Understanding how to master the stop shot is all intuition and experience, as well as a lot of practice. But if you're trying to shoot a stop shot and the cue ball draws back a bit, that means you either hit it too low or you hit it too hard. If it goes forward, that means you hit it too high or you hit it too soft. The cue ball always tells you the truth. It never tells you a lie. Let's see how these shots would work in a real game situation. Level 4, basic positional play. Positional play is planning where your cue ball will end up after executing a shot. The way I play position is I always plan 3 shots ahead. We're going to use the shots that we just learned: the draw, the stop, and the follow shot. And as you can see here, we are now in perfect position for the 8-ball. Level 5, the tangent or 90-degree angle line. You're not always going to have a straight shot. However, if you need to cut the ball in, things work out differently. If you're cutting the ball with stop shot speed, the cue ball will not stop. It will follow a 90-degree angle. You can also change the angle coming off the object ball by using a follow or a draw shot. A follow shot will go in front of the tangent line, whereas a draw shot will come behind the tangent line. Level 6, the carom shot. A carom shot is used when you're coming off a ball that doesn't have access to a pocket and you want to come off that ball and use it almost kind of like a cushion to bounce a cue ball off of it in order to pocket another ball. In this shot here, the 14 doesn't have a clear shot to a pocket and neither does a 9 ball. So I'm going to send the cue ball off the 14 to the 9 ball in the corner pocket. Level 7, combination shots. A combination shot is when you hit the cue ball to an object ball in an attempt to pocket a second ball. The simple version is when you have a straight combination shot. You're striking the center of the cue ball to the center of the first object ball, to the center of the second object ball, to the center of the pocket. But rarely are you going to have that perfect of a combination shot in the game. The ghost ball method can also be used to shoot more complex combination shots. It's the same technique, but instead of 1 ghost ball, we now have 2. It may seem simple, but seeing 2 ghost balls as opposed to 1 is a skill that comes with time and experience and lots of practice. Now there's a few more advanced shots that I want to talk about. Level 8, the kick shot. A kick shot is basically a follow shot that comes off the rail. To understand how a kick shot works, it's basically same angle in and same angle out. And that means that the angle that the cue ball hits a rail will be the angle that comes off the rail. So for one rail kick shots, we use a diamond system, the white dots that they have on the pool table that we use as a guide to give us a better idea of how to achieve a certain angle that we're looking for. Anytime you shoot, let's say, a kick shot and the object ball is by the pocket, that is considered 0. And then every diamond that we go above that, we do it in increments of 10. Corner pocket to the first diamond, that would be 10. The second diamond 20, the third diamond 30, and the fourth diamond, which is a side pocket, 40. So what you do is you divide it by 2, and that'll give you a true same angle in and same angle out. So half of 40 is 20. So all you have to do is go to the opposite rail on the opposite side of the table and send the cue ball towards 20. Common mistakes with kick shots is when a player either strikes the cue ball too hard or they accidentally add side spin to the cue ball. If you do use side spin, you will not get that same angle in and same angle out. Instead, you get a completely different angle, whether it's longer or shorter. Level 9, the bank shot. A bank shot is when you send the cue ball to an object ball and the object ball comes off the cushion towards the pocket. It's basically the same angle in and angle out. So when a bank shot is struck with too much speed, it comes short of the mark. Struck too soft, it actually lengthens the angle a bit. It's very easy to mess up the speed if you are unfamiliar with different types of speed in the game of pool. Level 10, defensive shots. You're not always going to have a clear shot in the game of pool. When that happens, you're going to have to learn how to shoot defensive shots. The most basic defensive shot in pool is when you strike the cue ball into an object ball while trying to hide the cue ball and leave your opponent a very bad shot. There are many types of defensive shots, but we're not going to get into those today. Level 11, side spin. All the shots that we've discussed to this point have been struck on the cue ball on this vertical axis right here, up and down. Now we're going to talk about the horizontal axis of the cue ball, which is called side spin. With a kick shot, the cue ball basically comes same angle in and same angle out off a rail. But when we applied side spin, things work differently. It actually widens the angle coming off the rail or shortens it depending on which side you hit. Some of the common mistakes people make is they end up either hitting it with not enough side spin or too much side spin. So I recommend going in half tip increments to the left and to the right. So that way you familiarize yourself with how much does it affect the angle coming off the rail with a little bit of side spin versus a lot of side spin. Level 12, masse shot. A masse shot is an extreme curve shot that is shot with almost a 90-degree angled cue. When you strike the cue ball at a 90 degree, it actually causes the cue ball to go around almost like a U-turn like. I like to use a masse shot or a curve shot whenever there's a ball in front of the pocket and I have an interfering ball that's blocking me or preventing me from hitting the ball directly. This shot requires a lot of confidence, but with practice comes confidence. So you should always start off with just a slight bit elevation, see how much you can curve it from there while trying to maintain a lot of spin on the cue ball, whether you're hitting it on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And as you start getting familiar with how much a ball is curving, you start elevating the cue stick a little more until you are finally able to get a full-blown masse or curve shot around the object ball. Level 13, the jump shot. It's a misconception that a jump shot is when you scoop underneath the cue ball, when in fact, that is considered a foul in the game of pool. A real jump shot requires you to come at an angle. It sends all the momentum to the bed of the table, which bounces it over the object ball. And speed is very crucial because if you strike it too hard, you always run the risk of either jumping the cue ball off the table or both balls off the table. Now that we've covered a long list of shots, we are ready to play a game. Level 14, the break. The goal of the break is to give yourself the best chance to run the table. The ideal break is when you send the cue ball in a direct line to the lead ball. This sends the momentum of the cue ball into the rack, spreading the balls across the table. This will give you the most options for the first shot after the break. There are two ways to learn how to break. First, you must learn how to break with just your arm, no body movement whatsoever, until you learn how to get an accurate, dead square hit on the head ball. Once you've done that, then you're gonna learn how to throw your body forward with your arm to get more power. And once you've mastered the momentum of throwing your body into the break, you will have the ability to hit it much harder and increase the chances of pocketing a ball on the break. Now let's play. Level 15, advanced position play. When I run the table, most times I end up using the techniques that we discussed today, whether it's a draw shot, a carom shot, a bank shot, 9-degree angle shot. All these shots are tools that need to be mastered in order to run out the table consistently. Whenever I assess a table, I always look for a pattern that is going to minimize the movement of the cue ball as much as possible. By thinking backwards, I first start looking at the 8 and pick a ball that I think will be the best candidate to get me to the 8 at the end of the rack. And once I figured out that shot, I pick another ball that will be the best candidate to get me to the shot before the 8 ball, and so forth. We've covered a lot of shots and techniques today, but there's always more to learn. Every game is different and will require different shots and techniques. No two games of pool are played the same way. But with the knowledge that we covered today, you should be well prepared to win. Thank you for watching, and I hope this improves your game.